Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Citizen Spook Jackson Baly, and welcome to episode Quad Bike of Oh No, a Ghost, the show that's chock full of subliminal messages your mind can't help but pick up on. Today we talk in 10 facts about vampires, about why they're not scary, and how they have the same weaknesses as worms. Dang, that's a long title. So I was doing some research at Oxford's Ooky Spooky Scarey Spooky department on worms and vampires, and I came to a realization. When you compare the flaws of a vampire and the flaws of a worm, there's a worrying amount of crossover, and that got me thinking, are vampires scary? Turns out, no. So what are a vampire's strengths? It's got a can become a dog, can become an owl, can become a wolf, can become a mist, has 3 brides, is pretty strong. Those are its strengths, but its weaknesses are almost the same as a worm's. It's got the same weaknesses as worms and the same strengths as like a polygamous bodybuilder who can shapeshift. So let's take a look at some of those flaws. Flaw 1, it drowns easy. Much like Suede and Gremlins, water makes vampires her bitch. When I was doing my research, I found at least 3 different ways a vampire can die based around water. You got holy water, for one. It drowns super easy, apparently. And also, a vampire can't cross running water. So, like, fucking creeks are an issue for vampires. Can you think of any other movie monster, or just monster, that is, like, impeded by a river? If you're on one side of a river, and a vampire's on the other side of the river, and you're like, sorry mate, there are no bridges, all he can do is be like, shit, fuck, damn, and go home. Worms are also impeded by rivers because they're little, and if they try and cross a river, they'll just get washed away. Flaw 2, hate garlic. So, Superman, you know, he's weak to kryptonite, yeah? That's not an issue because Lex Luthor has trouble getting kryptonite. It's a rarity. Vampires are weak to a vegetable. You can grow them. You can go and buy them. If you planted garlic all around your house, you could just hang up a sign being like, yo, vampire free, buy my house. You ain't gonna get got by vampires if you live in my house, where I used to live. I also love that with vampires, it's not like they hate, it's not like they get killed by garlic. It's just like, they're super not into it. Like, they're just kind of uncomfortable being around it. It's like you kind of hold it up, they're not like, oh my god, they're just like, yeah, it's gross. Garlic doesn't kill worms outright, but I feel like if I put a worm on a piece of garlic, he wouldn't have a great time. Flaw 3, burnt by stars. Vampires die in the sun like worms do. If I put a vampire on a hot road under the sun and a worm on another hot road under the sun, the vampire would die first. If they were in a race to die, the vampire loses to a worm. That's not a scary monster, guys. That's pathetic. That's sad. Flaw 4, they got weird rules about houses. So in all vampire lore, if a vampire asks to come into your house or to cross your threshold, and you say no, he's just fucking shit out of luck, unless you invite him in. So if Dracula comes to my house and he's like, Jackson, let me inside, and I'm like, nah, sorry, he just has to go. I mean, he doesn't have to leave my property. He can kind of mope around like an ex walking past my window, hoping that I notice him. Get out of here, Dracula, we've been done for years, but he can't come inside. Worms, I guess, don't need permission to get into a house. They can, in this one, worms can kind of do what they like. I think a worm wins in this one. Flaw 5, weak necks. So this is a win kind of for, well, maybe a loss for both. Because most things die when you chop their neck off, like decapitation. Most things will die if decapitated. It's weird, actually, that they put this on like ways to kill a vampire lists, because it's ways to kill anything. It's kind of like they didn't on the list put like ways to kill a vampire, nukes, because it's kind of, you know, fucking assumed, duh. Having said that though, I feel like if I cut off just like a tip of a worm, he might be okay. Like not the head clearly, but just like just cut off the bum. He might get by. So I think worms win this one, which is sort of impressive. At this point, guys, vampires are almost like not even a monster anymore. Like, I would let a Nosferatu use a handicap parking spot. I think if you've got like a broken, hell, if you've got no legs, I think you're better off than a vampire is currently. The amount of hindrances and rules that dictate what a vampire does is just super sad. It's just depressing. Imagine if we had that kind of shit for mummies. Imagine if it was like, hey, Hold hold the salami. Mummies can't move if you got a salami, or you want to kill mummy. Play the bassoon, Jim. Play the bassoon. It's gonna go pyramid robbing. Sad is my point. So I know none of this is relevant because vampires are all dead, but I like to think if you do encounter one, like on the street or at the movies, you'll be able to be like, hey, Dracula, I'm not afraid of you. You're basically a worm. You get the same flaws as a worm, you idiot. You got more flaws than a worm. And I like to think, I did that for you. A little bit. There you go. That was episode 4, Photo of Ghost. Hope you enjoyed it. I didn't. It wasn't great for me, but hey, you can't win them all. You can go now if you want. You can go. You can watch another video. You can jerk off. I'm not too fast. I'm going to see how many of these eyeballs I can fit in my mouth. Feel free to leave. I'm guessing 5. That's 1 inch. That wasn't too hard. If I'm startled with these eyes in my mouth, I'll swallow one and die. That's 2. You kind of realizing now that I already got room for 1 more in my mouth. Also, I didn't wash these beforehand, so... Maybe where...
Yeah, hello. Yeah, no. Okay. My friend, he's like choking on some eyeballs. He's trying to set a world record. No, oh no, not real eyeballs. No, like think ping pong balls, but with like eyes drawn on them, I suppose. I think. Yeah. Look. Anyway, he's trying to put them all in his mouth, and I think he's dying. Can you just come? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bye.